Hey guys. Sorry I was having trouble getting this stream to go live. It's funny, I hadn't had those kind of issues before, but look at that. Hey, how are you doing? Wow. Look at this. YouTube?
There's CJ Blaze, and there was some other word. I can't remember it. Does it begin with a W?
Marfoogle?
M. Begins with M.
Marfoogle? Are you a
Okay.
Marfoogle fan?
I think so.
Yeah, you should check him out if you haven't. Marfoogle News or Marfoogle TV.
I just saw the name and thought I need to look at that later, but I haven't. It's only been a day.
Oh, well you should. You should check it out.
So Marfoogle is somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I was just, it's like I live right here, and I'm just always interested to what's being put on this tower.
Oh.
And I mean, I know a lot of, there's a lot of people who don't care for the 5G and this and that, but I've just, honestly, I've come out here and I couldn't tell you how many crews I've interviewed, and they've all been so nice. I've actually made friends with quite a few of them, yeah. Except for the last guys who came out, they were from Ericsson, and they called the cops on me and said I was harassing them. And I mean, the whole thing's on camera. That was a flat out lie. I mean, I didn't say anything to them. They flashed lights in my eyes.
I saw an episode where you talked to a Crown guy.
Oh yeah, Crown Castle. Yeah.
But there's like 8, and I haven't, and some were Marfoogle, so I wasn't.
Yeah.
I just don't know yet.
Right.
But I imagine I'll run over the Ericsson one. Two
Yeah.
of those guys, I don't think they work for Ericsson anymore.
Really? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
Well, maybe in a different truck.
I'm glad because honestly, they give you guys all bad names. It was terrible. I've never been so, like, it was beyond me how they called the cops and then they straight up lied on me. They said I was up in their face and in their personal space and flashing cameras in their face. I never even went up on their vehicle. They were all sitting in their vehicle inside the fence. It was crazy. It really was.
I'll get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Now that I know. Do you have any questions?
Well,
I was taking pictures. I have a flying camera.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I wanted a photo. See that round circular thing over our head pointing that way?
Yeah.
Yonder? That's turned off.
Oh.
I'm going to try to get it removed. It's not even working.
Okay.
It's been decommissioned and needs to come down.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of it and I drew a box around it.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so you did have a drone up there. I thought I saw a drone out here.
Well, I started to go up and then my phone battery died. The phone is what takes the pictures. I thought, so I had to land again, and it was sad. I felt so inadequate.
Did you hate that? Technology fails on you, right?
It did. I'm gonna buy a horse and quit.
Yeah. Hey, that sounds like a plan. That might be a good idea.
Not an electric horse. Real.
Yeah, right.
Other questions?
No.
Like, what do you know about 5G, for example?
I know that it does millimeter waves, and I know that it was originally created by. It's a weapon. I mean, it was created as a weapon originally. Um,
Well, you could say that about music.
yeah. Well, and they weaponized that when they changed the hertz
The
from 432 to 440
or well,
or 480, whatever they put it at now.
the you could play an acoustic guitar and it would be pleasing to the ear, even if you weren't a good player.
Yeah.
But if you plugged it into an amplifier at a concert and there were 10,000 speakers and you turned it up a lot, you could cause a lot of damage. But 5G is the music. What you play it on is where you incur a risk.
Mm-hmm.
If you play 5G on lower frequencies where cell phones used to be, they're relatively harmless. If you start playing them on the millimeter waves, then there's suspicion about those, but nobody really understands. The thing that gets me most is that the truck has a radio antenna on it,
Mm-hmm.
and the FM radio signals that we listen to, our bodies are almost the right length to be a perfect FM radio antenna.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets down to something called wavelength. We are a function of that wavelength. These antennas up here, the wavelength is small, inches, and they operate at, oh gosh, anywhere from 5 to 25 watts. Whereas an FM station, for example, might be 50,000 watts. And we're surrounded. Nobody complains.
Yeah.
But we're all the right size to absorb FM radio signals.
Yeah.
When we're working on the towers, if I climb up and work on that stuff, I'm perfectly safe. If I'm behind the antennas, there's some danger standing in front. But if I'm on an FM tower, we have to turn the radios off. They can't
work on 'em.
transmit the FM signal because when you get within 30 feet of an FM antenna, it begins to change your body temperature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm always amazed when people are worried about 5G because it's just a song. Where you play it is what matters. T-Mobile put 5G here, but I think it's on a frequency that used to be like around where channel 48 PBS used to be.
Yeah.
48 got kicked off by the government, and they've got, well, everybody's old TVs, they got shut down. You
Right.
have to have a new TV now.
Right. Right.
That wasn't any fun, but
Well, it makes me wonder, like, I guess more or less what I think about when I think about 5G is I think about, like, the guys who came out here when they were installing the second layer, and they told me that there's 6 antennas on here, and those antennas give off ionizing radiation. And when I live in, right there,
ionizing or electromagnetic?
ionizing is what I've read.
Well, ionizing means it removes an electron. But radio waves.
Not even to manipulate the weather. Because see, like that's not normal. That right there.
That cloud?
Oh yeah, it's being pumped from the ground and pulled across from these towers. It's moving all of the heavy metals and articulates that they put in this. I've lived here 5 years and we never have shelf clouds like this. Low shelf clouds that are just about, I don't know, tower height.
I would bet the ceiling on that is much higher than a tower. But Clouds and radio waves.
Well, not regular clouds. I mean,
Right.
not made of actual, you know, uh, moisture.
Is that a man-made cloud?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Huh. I wonder how you would know.
Back here, it says there's no outlet, but there actually is. And if you go all the way down there, there is a place where they have.
Where they make clouds.
Yep.
Is it by Lawrenceburg?
No, it's in Ohio. What do you think,
Yeah.
Lawrenceburg, Indiana?
Before you cross the border.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's actually, it's really not far. It's not that deep in here.
I like the way it blocks the sun.
I hate that.
Well,
We need
but
the
it makes it
sun.
really well.
That's why everyone's immune system
Not
is
this
so
time of
low. Yeah, it's because they're blocking the sun.
Well, the sun.
They tell us global warming is a farce. I mean, we all know that.
They tell us, and the other theys tell us it's not. So there's more than one they.
It's true.
Or maybe there's they and them.
Well, they got to
tell
keep us
there's none, and
confused,
them tell us there is.
right?
It's they against them. You can quote me on that. Huh.
I'm doing the aerial plane spraying today. I mean, that's nice. That's a nice break.
Oh,
That's a normal daily occurrence as well.
I hadn't read about that yet.
You should check into it because they're totally connected, these towers. You get the heaviest spraying in all the area right around the towers.
Sounds
And I'm not
like
saying
it
like,
would
oh,
damage
you
the
know, like,
tower.
really?
Well, they don't like to be. I mean, they go to a lot of trouble to keep things dry up there.
Oh yeah, I'm
They
sure.
spend a lot of money on weatherproofing and.
Well, here's my biggest question.
Okay.
Now, if there aren't 5G phones out yet that are really using the network, they're not out in mass quantity besides testing areas, you know, just like here and there, like it's
Oh,
very seldom.
Certain cities, Verizon's bragging about the first 5G during. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I knew they said it was there.
Yeah, they were. I heard about them bragging about it.
Huh.
Well, my question is, they turned, I guess it was T-Mobile made 5G active nationwide in the end of December. So why are they turning all these towers on and beaming that frequency if nobody even has the phones to run on that frequency?
Well, don't forget, 5G isn't a frequency; it's a song.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, if
and
nobody
you
can
play
hear
the
that
song
song,
on anything from a ukulele to I don't know, one of those barges with fireworks on it, or well, that would be fun. Anyway, the 5G is just the notes. What you play it on is what matters.
yeah, but if nobody can play it, if nobody has the receiver to play it, then
Well, who's going to buy a 5G phone if they say we'll build it someday? Don't you kind of have to build it first? I never thought about it until just now, but that
Well-
sounds like a good marketing plan.
well, and my understanding that it was going to be 5G is going to be laid in 3 different layers, and each company has their own layer that they're going to be putting down, which is actually on a different wavelength, like a different, not so the millimeter wave.
Well, the
but-
government sells spectrum. It's
Okay.
called spectrum. And when you talk about radio waves, you have a beginning and an end of a spectrum. And if you get high enough, it's not radio wave anymore, it's light. If you get low enough, it's not radio wave anymore, it's a different kind of light, infrared or ultraviolet. But spectrum is all electromagnetic, and I'm not sure that ionizing applies to everything. Maybe there are radio waves that can ionize, but electrons are really, really tiny, so
Well, they even say that our cell phones give off ionizing radiation, and I mean it's supposed to be
Who's they?
minimal, But, and you know, like when they test the cell phones, I mean, like, have you ever seen where they actually set up the test for the radiation that they give off? They don't even actually put it up to, you know, the fake ear, like the person's
Yeah.
head. And I mean, just how many people do you
Yeah, I
see
did it
walking
Wednesday.
around who don't actually, you know, put their phone up to
Tuesday?
their head?
Monday, Tuesday? Tuesday I tested a cell phone for the city of Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they were wondering if they were working, and I have a machine that measures the energy that they can
Really?
put off. The Do you understand decibels of sound, where 90 decibels is bad for your hearing and it ruins your ear permanently,
Mm-hmm.
but 60 decibels doesn't, and 10 decibels
Like white
might be,
noise, kind of like,
well, any kind of noise that loud enough will hurt.
that's true.
So radio waves also commonly measured in decibels, and well, the antennas are weird. They can boost power or cut power, or they can just be what's called unity. So they put a radio wave into a unity antenna and they measure it at different distances, and they say this is how this transmitter is working. So when you log in to see if your transmitter is working, it says I'm running at 10 dB, so you know, okay, now I know that you're working because somebody referenced it to a test. The decibels that leave an antenna fall off with the same formula that light does. The sun doesn't set us on fire because it's so far away.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got close enough, you would burn up. And the farther you get from radio wave antennas, it's called the inverse square law. So we're standing a good, I don't have to guess. I can measure it. Probably the most dangerous thing about standing where we are is something might fall and land on our heads. Because if this is 140 feet tall, anything that falls will be going about 65 miles an hour when it gets to us.
Oh, wow.
And who wants to get hit by a 65 mile an hour bolt?
Yeah, no, thank you.
No. Let's see. Today's signal on the ground is minus 90. So minus 90 is a very, very, very tiny signal. So that's why you see so many of these. 40 years ago,
I heard they put them in like groups of threes because they can be used to manipulate the signal. Like they could, there's one right there behind that building. That's a triple stacker, right? And there's one more that you can see that's over there.
well, it isn't the groups of three here. This is like having three phones in your house. If you had one phone, then one person could call and nobody else. If you have three lines, like business phone, if a business has three lines, they can support typically 4,600 customers because they'll never have more than four calling at once. It's called a trunked system. So if you put different sectors on your tower, there's a better chance that the person who needs to call for a tow truck or something will get in. Though when you're locating somebody, you would use this tower and that tower and some other tower, and you would ask each one, what's the signal strength from that guy's phone, and then you get not a pinpoint of where he is, but a general area. The thing that gives away your location now more than cell phone tower sites is the phone itself tells you where it is.
Yeah. I use a VPN, but I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, the GPS doesn't care about VPN.
Yeah.
It'll
Well, I
it
turn off
says
the
where you are.
location. I turn that stuff off.
You
I mean, I'm sure you could see where my phone pings off of by what tower.
No, you just ask your phone where you are.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
part that you turn off
Yeah.
doesn't turn off.
Oh.
It turns off for apps. It
Okay.
doesn't turn off for the system because the system, GPS is like the key. What was it? Oh, what's the actress's name? Hedy Lamarr? I believe it was Hedy Lamarr who invented Wi-Fi without knowing it, and the CDMA technology that a lot of the cell phones use.
Hmm.
The thing that she invented was to prevent Germans in World War II from intercepting American radio transmissions and deciphering them.
Hmm.
And it is such a great invention that the president uses it for his personal communications.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
cell phones use a version of it to work as cell phones.
Yeah.
And it's why we have little tiny batteries now instead of the great big ones, because the new system is such a low energy level. I don't know how much time you want to spend on this, but energy is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a big truck, you'll buy more gas than if you have a little car or motorcycle. Phone batteries that need power to make a strong signal aren't economical. So in the old days when they thought the phone will damage your brain, they were probably right because you had a powerful radio signal there. But remember when I said this was minus 90 for us on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
The signal coming from your phone might be a minus 136 or a minus 200, a very, very, very tiny signal. Because they can't afford to use all that power all the time.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Wi-Fi myself. I've turned it off. I don't use it.
Ah,
And you know what? Here's an interesting fact. When they were doing studies on trying to find diabetes medications for rats, do you know how they would induce diabetes?
I have no idea.
They would do it through EMFs.
Oh, I figured they'd use licorice
Yeah, licorice, yeah.
or sweet
Yeah,
tarts.
well, they would induce it with EMF, and it's like they would use almost the same frequency as Wi-Fi. It was
Huh.
like 2.4, I wouldn't say it was,
Well, that's what your microwave oven does.
yeah, I don't
2.4 or
use that
something.
anymore either. Yeah.
No, the most fun I've had with a microwave is to take the transformer out and turn it into a welder. That's fun.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen lots of people make, well, they call them guns or whatever, that like where they can shoot things on YouTube with their microwaves with the
Really?
transformer.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I miss out on a lot of things. I don't get to spend a lot of time online because I'm either working or tired.
Right?
Right.
I hear ya. Well, I can't help but be curious whenever I see somebody out here, so I normally try and just come out and see what's going on.
Ah,
And I appreciate you talking to me. I mean, I really do. And, you know, it's like I have a better opinion of Ericsson after talking to you because it's nice to be able to talk to a rational person.
everybody. Well, I might be half crazy. You never know.
No, we all are to some degree. Just
The,
depends what degree, right?
Yeah. The. I'm a good person to talk to because I've seen a lot. And I've been keeping my eyes open
Yeah.
and my ears, and I try to learn what I can about the whys of things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I worry, here's my biggest why. Why did Trump make an executive order to get this 5G implemented in the U.S. without long-term studies on the health benefits? Or the health effects. I'm sorry, not benefits, obviously.
oh, that would be capitalism.
Capitalism.
Yes, that would be doing things for profit.
Right.
You will make more money if you spend less time. Well,
But our health
look at our
over
look at our
profit,
look at our skies.
they're
If you
terrible.
were in China, there are places in China where you wouldn't know there were clouds because
It's
you
just a
couldn't see that
whiteout.
far.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a whiteout. Actually,
It's smog.
honestly, I'm surprised We've had nothing but, we've had a whiteout here lately. This is the first day this week that I have seen blue skies in between.
Have you been out of the country? Have you been to Mexico or any place?
I haven't been to Mexico. No, I haven't been out of the U.S.
I've been out of the U.S. and there are places where you've heard, and it seems like a joke, but it's not. Don't drink the water.
Oh, I wouldn't drink the water here.
Not
tap. Mm-mm.
There are places in town where it's safe. But the point is, there are no places.
I say here specifically, they know right now with what they're putting up at Amazon, they've been doing blasting at the coal mines, and they've been getting that right into the Ohio River. So it's. Yes. I'm just saying here, I would not be drinking the water.
But part of the Cincinnati water supply is a carbon filtration plant. So it's the same thing you would buy at Walmart to filter your water. It would.
Yeah, but they also still add fluoride to the water, which we also know is poison.
Fluorine is dangerous, but for some reason it makes your teeth stronger, so they...
That's what they tell us. That's BS. That's BS.
Not in chemistry. Who knows what it's doing in the water?
Well, who cares? Who cares if
you're... to your teeth.
Yeah.
It does make them stronger, but when you mix it with the water, everyone wants to make a buck.
That's true.
So if you can scam the country by fluoridating water, then you have done the American dream. You have a large bank account and you're successful, and
well, you took a waste product from the companies you made all this other money on, and you convinced them to put it into the water like it's a good thing.
But that's okay, it doesn't make America great, but that's what makes America great, is your opportunity to succeed at all costs. Some people succeed by doing nice things, and some people succeed by doing bad things. And as long as there are humans, you will have both. So you just have to kind of watch out for yourself.
I say somebody said their argument is they think it's for control. They said it's about control, not making a buck. He's looking, you guys, if anyone wants to ask any questions.
I didn't know questions were floating by. That's funny.
Maybe our teeth, but aren't supposed to drink it and shower in it.
Yeah, why am I showering in fluoride?
Yeah. Ask him, CJ, ask him.
What hurts?
What hurts?
My elbow. No. Which hurts for what?
The hurts for what, Vance? It'll come back up.
Oh, come on, guys.
Oop. Who hired them? The military?
Who hired who?
They use fluoride as a rat poison.
Oh, poor rats.
Getting rich on those while they get sick. Vance, what hertz are you talking about for 5G? What do you think about the skies? You've got to know they've changed. They've changed. This isn't what they were like when I was younger.
I'm less of a scientist and more of a romanticist, so I see earlier when I said the sun was blocked, well, it makes a really bright spot that I think is pretty. So, and when they're gray and white, and what I look for is the beauty in the world, and so I miss out on a lot of the bad stuff because I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it's a bad attitude, or maybe it's looking at things the wrong way, or maybe I'm doomed, or maybe I'll die happy but young. I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of people are convinced that we don't have a sun anymore. A lot of people think it's a sun simulator. Oh,
I would bet that's a real sun.
yeah. He said, CJ, it's about hertz, nor decibels. What hertz is Rowie transmitting?
What hertz is Rowie transmitting? Who's Rowie?
Oops. Who's Rowie, Vance? It's about hertz, nor decibels. Oops. Oh, man.
Where's the truck from? I'm guessing Japan. I don't know where.
How come you guys all have Texas plates? Is that normal?
I see Texas plates on other trucks that aren't from Texas. I bet Texas has a tax law. What hertz is the tower transmitting, not decibels? Oh, what hertz? What are the frequencies here? See that plane going across the sky?
Yeah.
If you're just looking up and you see a plane, it's just a plane. But if you're standing by a tower and it flies over the top, your imagination can run away with you and say, oh, there's a tiny plane that just flew an inch from the tower. Or that's how I see the skies. I use my imagination a lot. The frequencies here are probably the old 800 that cell phones used to use, the 1900, and these are megahertz, 800 megahertz, 1900 megahertz is what evolved next, and then 2500 megahertz and probably 600 megahertz, one of the old television channels. There's microwave antennas up there.
So it's
I
like,
would bet that two of those are in the 23 gigahertz range, and the one that's turned off is probably in 11 gigahertz.
so one of them's
But it's
turned off.
So yeah, it's not connected to anything anymore. It needs to be removed.
That just makes me wonder too. It's like when they talk about, they're like, oh, the microwave technology. And I remember when last guys came out here, well, not the last ones, before that, he's like, well, there's something wrong with one of the microwaves up there. And I was like, microwaves? Because at first I was like, microwaves? Like, what?
Oh, well, look at the antenna. See how it's a bowl shape?
Mm-hmm.
To get microwaves to travel, they form them into cylindrical beams. So gravity makes them bend like this power line does, or like a string would do. But microwaves curve back up as they travel, and so when you're aiming them at each other, if you're off by as much as 3 inches, you have no signal anymore. So down here on the ground, we're way more than 3 inches from the microwave. You'd have to climb a very tall building to get in danger of microwave radios.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't afford to have that stuff spraying.
It's like even the
all
people
around
on
the
the
ground.
top. Well, and also they've hooked these new black boxes up to our power lines, which are on the bottom line,
Uh-huh.
and they have 2 antennas coming out. And
Really?
yeah, one of the tower guys told me that those are mini 5G cells and they're to take the meter readings.
Huh.
So I did a little exploring in my apartment. Come to find, we have a closet in the basement that's filled with meters, floor to ceiling. And
Well, that would be for all the different people who live there.
yeah, but that's crazy to me that it's in the middle of the building and it's transmitting that signal out of the
Oh,
building.
no. That's not crazy. That's economics. Yeah,
When's somebody gonna get hit by all those radio waves?
well,
sending
those
those
weren't
signals?
around when the building was built. It was bury a heavy power line into the middle of the building and then go outwards. See, if you had the power on this end of the building, it would cost a lot of money Also, if your wire is too long, by the time you get to the end of the wire, you don't have 120 volts anymore and your TV won't work.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
your
true.
phone.
I mean, with just the way things are now, I mean, I know smart meters are bad for you. I mean, there's studies that's been done for that. They've put people in front of them and taken live. If you're, stand right in front of a smart meter, I mean, it literally over time damages the outside of your cells. It damages your cell barrier. And I mean, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy that these are everywhere. And I mean, that's one thing that always comes hand in hand. They put a new smart meter over there on that
On the
pole. Yeah, on the backside.
Well, when I think about the things that surround me that are dangerous, I also try to remember that it wasn't too many years ago that people who lived to be 45 were old.
Hmm.
And you could walk still through graveyards in many states. And if you stop and read the gravestones, you'll see that a couple moved there and they had a child that didn't live to be 2, and another one that didn't live to be 8, and another one that made it to 12, and another one that made it to 17. And you wonder how many of their children made it. I mean, you used to have 10 kids so that 2 would survive, and they all the died of measles, died of whooping cough, died of smallpox. Many years ago, when this country was young, it was way more dangerous than it is now, just by evidence of 90-year-old people. We're twice as old as we used to be.
Yeah. But they didn't have cancer back then either.
Because you didn't live long enough to have cancer.
Yeah. Oh, it is freezing.
Oh.
I'm freezing.
Yeah, you should go inside because
Yeah. Well, I just got a message saying my battery's actually low, which is funny because I had charged it. I had 100% battery when I came out here. Does anybody have any last questions? Because we are both freezing. I know you got to be cold. I got at least 2 jackets
I was
on.
raised by wolves in Yellowstone Park.
Nice. I wouldn't go to Yellowstone now. Tell you what.
My family treat you well.
So that Yellowstone seems like it's fixing to do something.
Yellowstone will go bang someday.
Right?
Yeah.
Anybody have any last questions? Ugh. Just came to show some love. Thank you, Albany.
Stay focused on Hertz. Not the rent-a-car place, right?
Yeah.
Look at your fingers are turning red. You better go inside.
It's cold, man. Does the tower have its own generator if the power goes out?
Nope.
Well, there is battery backup generators.
Flannel lined, long johns, wool socks.
Oh, nice.
That's why I'm not shaking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my boots are warm, but I say my legs are cold.
Low battery.
Yeah.
I didn't know my truck would be running that long. I didn't mean to talk your battery to death.
Oh no, I appreciate you talking to me. I really do. You're a really nice guy, and I think it's some of the guys I've met out here are really nice, and I'm just trying to bridge the gap so we all have the same kind of understanding. Like I'm trying to see what where you guys are, like just as far as what's going on with what do you guys think about 5G? What do you guys think about?
Oh, I haven't seen any yet. I've seen. Like you, my phone doesn't do it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. And
Do you really think it's about speed though? Is it really to make our phones faster? I mean, do we really need that 30 seconds? Like, because they're like, oh, you can download videos.
I don't need any of it.
Me neither. That's why I think it's crazy to me that.
When I retire, I won't have a phone.
Yeah.
Right now I have a work phone in this pocket, and I have a work phone in this pocket, and there are 3 work phones in the truck, and I just sent 2 back because I wasn't using them anymore, and I'm tired of charging them all the time. And I have too many phones.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah, that would be worrisome for
I
me.
want to go home at night and not have a phone that rings. I just want to sit down and play backgammon with somebody and
Right.
yeah, just relax.
Yeah.
There are too many people that want to game or watch movies. Hanging in there?
Oh, yep, we're still hanging in.
Wow.
About to die though. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. It's freezing out here. I love y'all. Thank you for coming. And thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Stop by anytime.
You guys have a good one. Much love. God bless.